Welcome to the Movie Pit Podcast. I'm your host, Christian. Thank you very much for tuning into the podcast today. As you can tell from the title, it is our second annual summer movie season preview podcast, where, of course, we will run down all the movies from the summer movie season. That's all the way from May all the way to the end of August. I have guests, as you just heard, I had guests here like last year, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just a second. We're going to just want to mention that we're going to run down the season, and we're going to have a little game contest at the end, which you are more than welcome to join. I'll get more into that once we get to that part of the podcast. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves. They have very distinct voices, so you don't really get confused, but I just want to let them introduce themselves anyway. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Max. I am a graduate and working for the Cubs. We don't talk about the Sox and their horribleness, so...
Hey, you guys had a fucking bad run, too.
Yeah, we did have 108 years. You guys have not been able to do anything since, 2005? So, you're starting to get up there with the Indians and everything else. I do have a nice, sensual voice.
Don't
acknowledge it. But I am a huge geek and nerd. I just recently went to C2E2, got Stan Lee's autograph among Jason Isaacs. That was nice. Nice. And I got Jason Isaacs to say moist and deliciously evil. It was great. Nah, it didn't happen.
I want to see it now.
Oh, I did say he was deliciously evil in The Patriot, and he agreed, so...
He was very good in that.
So, that is me.
Dan.
Hello, I am Danny. I work in technology without a degree, because work experience. And I'm also an ESL tutor at Refugee One in Chicago. So... That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Dan's been on the podcast for you guys.
Yeah, I've been on here. Well, I'm on radio now.
Was it a couple weeks ago? A few weeks ago?
No, yeah, I started a few weeks ago. Now it's like 99.1 in Chicago. It goes far. It goes to south of Evanston.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nice. All right, so we're here to talk about the summer movie season, like I just mentioned earlier. For that, Max, like you just mentioned, you went to C2E2. It's been to a couple conventions. You want to?
This is probably around my 20th convention that I've gone to. I've gone to Wizard World, I've gone to Phoenix Comic Con, I've gone to Indianapolis Comic Con, I've gone to C2E2, I've gone to small little other anime conventions, etc., that still hold and host comics. This was being Stan Lee's last convention tour. He's got 6 more after this, and then he's done. I believe he's ending at New York Comic Con this year.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So
is he close?
New York Comic Con?
No. I mean, is he?
No, he's 94 years old and still kicking, but he's still got a handshake like a vice grip.
Okay.
So.
Up to his hundreds then.
Oh yeah.
But I got 5 things signed by him. I spent close to almost $1,000 on autographs. I got to meet the sergeant or whatever from Walking Dead, but I really don't watch The Walking Dead, so I remember him from Band of Brothers, and that was his better role. I got to see Jason Isaacs, Stephen Plume, basically the voice of Tom for Toonami. I got Jim Cummings, voice of Darkwing Duck, to sign 3 custom Darkwing Duck playmats. I saw that on Facebook. Yeah. And he's actually he posted me on Twitter and said this was amazing, and then I was like, I'm now immortalized on Jim Cummings' Twitter. So, for the first couple of days, the first thing you would type in Jim Cummings' Twitter was my picture that came up. And then I got Troy Baker to sign the other playmat that I have. And then I got the creator of Deadpool to sign the playmat. Nice. So, in 3 different characters, Darkwing Duck, Joker, and Deadpool to sign 1 playmat. I got pictures and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I got the original voice of the leader of the Horde, Vojin.
Oh, okay.
So, and he was like, Vojin, I am the leader of the Horde. And I'm like, oh, that's nostalgic for me. And so, but, just walking around and seeing people actually had homemade, cosplays, and it was really a lot of fun. The creepiest one that I saw was a guy dressed as Snow White mixed with Jon Snow, and had the hairiest chest and arms I've ever seen. And I'm just like, ugh. You know, but it was a lot of fun. There's so many people that were selling different things. Artist Alley is always a great place to go for commissions. You spend a ton of spend a ton of money, but it's worth it. You know, I opted out on not to getting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other things because their prices were about $60 to $70, and I'm like, that's not what I want to buy, spend for. So, but it was still a lot of fun, and my favorite memory is seeing a guy sell his own versions of what's it called, the Green Lantern battery. He makes green lanterns.
Wow.
Or the yellow lanterns, or the red lanterns, or the blue ones, or the pink ones.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm just like, how much do you sell them for? Like $75 a pop. That's for the big ones. And I was like, oh, if I had the money right now, because I just spent all my money on autographs. But we bought a couple of playmats and from artists, and we bought, saw Alvin Lee, one of the artists for Riot. One of the main artists for Gangplank and Misfortune, bought a giant poster of his, had him sign it, and I was like, can you just do a commission for me of like Darkwing Duck as like Gangplank? He's like, sure. You got $200? I was like, no. Well, then move along. And I was like, but still a pretty cool guy to me. Met tons of people there as far as comic people. I met the artist of Silk, the spider.
Okay.
And I was like, this is cool. Got her card. And got just a lot of people. And she did a custom playmat. That was the steampunk Darkwing Duck one.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, nice.
And I was like, oh, this is so cool. So met a lot of cool artists that could possibly help me with my graphic novel that I've told you about. So.
All right. So that was Max's adventures over at the convention, sir. I told him that he could have some time to talk about it since he's been there.
And I'm also going to Indie PopCon, where Matt Ryan will be. And I cannot wait to meet Matt Ryan, the voice of Constantine. And Constantine. So
for
I have
season.
And the voice of Kenway from Black Flag.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I have a playmat for him to sign, and I have a custom comic cover for him to sign as well. So if you look for me, I'll be there in a giant black Cubs hat. And I'm debating whether or not to go to Wizard World. So.
Wizard World.
Because it's been slacking in the last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
All right. So let's get right down to it.
Cool, man.
All right, let's get to May. And of course, as it's become tradition in the last few years, opening up the summer movie season is Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I don't need to tell you what this movie's about because you're going to go watch it anyway.
I think Marvel is, they usually start off, with Fast and the Furious being, starting, they usually start off
the unofficial
start, because Universal usually starts in April with all their big blockbusters. Yeah. Marvel being, that they share a good portion of Universal's franchise, with the Hulk and a couple other things.
Which is the reason why the Hulk can't get its own movie, because of
Universal.
Yeah.
But I hear they're working on it. I hear they're working on it with Phage and everyone else, because he's brought back more of the other characters under the belt. Mm-hmm. So I hear he's still trying to work with more of the Spider-Man franchise. I'm here he's trying to get more of the version of like Aqualad or whatever it is, the DC version. But Phage is doing a lot to get these characters back under one roof, which is great. Now, if they can just get X-Men and everything else, they could just do it so much better. But I think Guardians of the Galaxy will kick off the summer. Everyone's starting to get out of college. There's everyone's either finished their finals or they're finishing their degrees, and this will be their one reward to see it, because everyone has done so well on this movie. They've done a terrific job to promote the movie, and Baby Groot is badass.
Oh, Baby Groot, that's everywhere. That's going to be the highlight for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's like, I am Groot. Sorry, I had to nerd.
Yeah, it's all right. It's nerding is welcome on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I do think that Guardians of the Galaxy will be a top seller for a little while until we get down until.
Oh yeah, it's
at least I'd say at least mid-May.
Alien Covenant's going to give it a run for its money.
Alien Covenant, yes, we'll definitely give.
And we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's definitely going to give it.
But
by then it's going to be its third week. And by then, even a Marvel movie on its third week is like...
Well, I don't know about if Alien Covenant is going to do well. I mean in terms of like... reviewer.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to it. We still got some other movies to get to. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. Danny, are you...
What?
Stupid question. Are you excited for Guardians? Stupid question number 1 on the podcast, by the way.
From what he said, I want to see what Marvel does when they get distribution rights to X-Men.
Which will be a cold day in hell. Because Fox has a grimy little hands already.
I know.
Like, you can have Fantastic Four, but no, we're keeping it.
No, we're keeping it on.
Well, because that's
not news, by the way. So no, it's not news.
They're also doing a TV show too, so for X-Men, which is stupid, but.
Does Marvel have a version of Teen Titans?
Yes.
New Mutants.
New Mutants?
Yes.
That.
One of them.
Do that.
Well, they're doing a New Mutants movie, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
is that going to be a TV series?
So basically, Marvel has cut off, from what I understand, Fox to new material as far as mutants go, X-Men, et cetera, et cetera. So right now, what's going on is they're doing. Fox has decided to go in through comics, up until when they got cut off, to basically start their own franchises with New Mutants, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh.
However, since Stan Lee is now on the retiring market, I hear he's filmed at least 6 cameos for movies that haven't even been started shooting yet.
Yeah, he filmed all of them.
He filmed Guardians of the Galaxy. He's filmed Panther. He's filmed Spider-Man, Avengers, Infinity War both times. And then he's filmed, I think, 3 or 4 other movies that haven't even... The Brie Larson one. Captain Marvel. That's already filmed from what I hear. The Thor was already filmed a long time ago. And then, other versions of where he is. And then did you hear that Phage finally confirmed that what Stan Lee is in the Marvel Universe?
You said he accepted the theory, but then it sounded more like okay, I'll give it to you.
What's the theory?
Everyone says that Stan Lee is the Watcher.
Basically the creator of the universe.
Yeah. Oh wow!
And that's been a running theory for a long time.
Okay. Well, he technically kind of is.
But everyone's there's a reason why he appears in all these movies. It's just
a cameo.
Part of me's okay, yeah, that'd be cool, but I'd rather they get someone else who can actually come along and do the movies.
There is another thing that goes in the background. It's someone that's always working behind the scenes. If it really is Stan Lee that is the Watcher or the creator, But I really do think that if we went back and looked at all of the films, I figure that we would find someone that would be stretching across a span of it, but we wouldn't notice it. We'd have to look, and dissect through every single film. So, but we'll see what goes on.
We'll see. All right, let's move on to May. That was May 5th, by the way. May 12th. I'm going to mention just a few limited releases. We're going to focus on the wide releases, but I just want to mention a few limited releases because everyone's like, "Oh, when you talk about indie movies," I don't know why you sound like that, but that's what it sounds like. So I'm going to mention a few limited releases, but we're just going to mainly focus on the wide releases. One limited release for the 12th is The Wall, which is directed by Doug Liman, who directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I don't know why that popped in my head. The Firstborn Identity and Edge of Tomorrow, and just a bunch of other stuff too. But it's about a sharpshooter, an American sharpshooter played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's not American, but he's trapped in a standoff with an Iraqi sniper with one of his men.
That's the one with John Cena.
That's the one
right?
with John Cena. He's stuck in the middle of it.
Help!
So there's that one. I just want to mention that. But the wide releases for the 12th are Lowriders, which is about a young street artist in East Los Angeles caught between his father's obsession with lowrider culture and his ex-felon brother and his need for self-expression. That movie stars Damien Bashir, Eva Longoria, Melissa Benoist from Supergirl herself.
You know what's interesting about that is you have a DC character in there and you also have a Marvel character in there. The brother actually plays the lover of what's her face from Luke Cage, who takes over the club.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see I don't see him as someone being in the Mexican culture. I mean, he immerses himself very well, but in the lowrider culture, it's very unheard of to see someone of that white in a culture like that. I mean, I have seen it before. Don't get me wrong, and it is nice to be accepted in that way. But the way that his character is perceived is that he's just so flamboyant to me. When I was watching the trailer, I was like, okay, I get it. I know this character very well. I know his acting methods. I know what he's capable of. But in this, it just seems really far-fetched for him.
I'm from High School.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
But,
There's wise mayonnaise.
But I do think Lowriders is going to be a very interesting movie, just to talk about a subculture of cars. I mean, Fast and the Furious did it in the beginning with the first one, where they talked about street racing and everything else.
And at that time, street racing
street racing was a huge thing.
And then Fast and the Furious just propelled it to the next level. Yeah.
And so there's huge car shows going on, like today at McCormick Center. There's WECFest, and there's tons of cars from domestic to European to JDM to KDM to, hot rods to rat rods to whatever now that are racing. So I think this is, brings to light a different culture that might help, bring more awareness to an art form that is dying, because there's not many people that do paint these cars. I mean, pinstriping is all done by hand. There's not many people that do this left. Yeah. Painting, everything by hand is a huge art form in that culture. And I've seen a lot of, being in Tucson, there's a lot of them in Tucson, and seeing a lot of the handcrafted work that people put in these hundreds of hours is really amazing. I mean, they pour their blood and their soul into it. It tells a story of either their life or someone they know or something that's in their culture or the mythical culture of whatever. But it's still, I think it's going to, will it beat out Guardians of the Galaxy? No. But will it do a decent, ranking at the box office? Yes, I believe so.
It's going to be a nice small movie. It's going to be one of those movies that surprises people.
Yeah, I think so
if they go watch it.
I think that's, people, how do I put it? People want to be educated, in a different sense. They want to learn about something new. And, for me, I don't really like slapstick comedy that much, because the other movie that's on here is Snatched, and I hate Amy Schumer
I think he's amazing.
Get out. Fuck my house.
But, I just don't, I like learning about culture, the putting the stuff into various ways of learning. I think that's a really cool way to see a movie.
Oh, wait, Amy Schumer stole jokes.
Amy Schumer does steal jokes.
Yes, he does.
Yes. There's that video online. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
No, there's not just one. There's
multiple.
There's a few.
I've only seen one, but I know there's a few.
Go on Reddit. They're all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about Amy Schumer because her next movie is Snatched, which is the mother-daughter comedy about them getting kidnapped and then, of course, having to escape. I'm not the biggest Amy Schumer fan either.
Well,
I thought Trainwreck was okay, but everyone was like, "Oh, it's so awesome." So,
Trainwreck was awful.
It was okay. It wasn't awesome. It was okay.
Girls just want to have fun, guys.
I'm not going to post to that. Just the movie itself. It's just the movie itself was like.
To be honest, like.
And even this doesn't look that all.
Amy Schumer it should not have come to fame. I mean, she steals jokes. She's not the greatest comedy writer. And my sister, who's a better comedy writer, could write better shit than she can. And, to me, it just seems like a movie of like, hey, look at me. I want to be famous again. I want to be in the limelight. Have my 15 minutes of fame. Blah, 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 blah. That's basically what I see it as. It's a cry for attention. And, whether or not it'll probably underperform, but it'll probably still do well. It will more than likely, everyone wants to go see a laugh because it's right around the time of when school's out, et cetera, et cetera. So my guess is that it won't beat out Guardians of the Galaxy, but it will beat out Lowrider.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it is, and it's also Goldie Hawn, so all the older people are going to go watch it, and it's Mother's Day weekend. So.
Yeah.
So girls just want to be with girls.
And the next film is King Arthur: Legend of the Sword, directed by Guy Ritchie.
Oh, I've wanted to see this for so long because what's his Jude Law is in it, and he plays the king, and I'm just like, oh, to see an epic standoff between so and so and Jude Law, whose name I can't remember because he's so incredibly beautiful. I could have a man crush. Shut up.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm sure there's some people. I'm going to talk about someone a little later who have a man crush on, so that's okay.
Well, I got Mike Coulter's autograph, and he was a beautiful sculpted black man.
He is a beautiful man. I will admit that.
And I wanted to touch his shiny head, but he's small.
I didn't go that far.
No, but he's small. When I was there, because you shut up, phone. But when I go up to go and met him, because Defenders comes out August 18th. Yeah. They started shooting for Luke Cage in June. Mm-hmm. But when I go up there, I'm like, he's small. I mean, he's wearing a Defenders sweatshirt, but he's small.
Yeah, he's not that. I don't know why people thought.
But no, because not that way. His muscles are small.
Yeah, his muscles.
Because in the TV show, he looks fucking larger than life. But that's TV.
What's TV? Yeah.
But I think this is a movie that is definitely going to give Guardians of the Galaxy a run for its money. I think definitely, because Charlie Hunnam is pretty hot, from the most part, and I think that. He's definitely going to be giving Guardians of the Galaxy a big run for its money because King Arthur, this thing has been going, since I think December is when the first trailer came out.
It was the first teaser, and then Comic-Con last year is when they released the
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is going to be fucking epic because it's just like a king who doesn't want to accept his kingship. The fact that he doesn't, he pulls the sword from the stone, but we do. It's not like King Arthur with Clive Owen where he's already pulled the sword from the stone. I think it's definitely going to be. It's an origin story. Is basically what it is.
Yeah. And
I'd like to see how it's interpreted, but I think it's going to be more badass how they did with Sherlock Holmes. So that's mine.
It is Guy Ritchie, so it does have a specific style.
Guy Ritchie is, doing really well. I mean, having broken up with Madonna,
Madonna was his kryptonite, man. Everything he did. Although I like rock and roll. I'm not gonna let anybody bash rock and roll.
But for the most part, since he's left Madonna, he has just been rolling in the creativity.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. was awesome.
I have not seen
Man from U.N.C.L.E. was
I want to see.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. is a very underappreciated movie.
Yeah, that was good.
Do you think it's more of a noir in the fact of?
I think it was just because Spectre came out, or Spectre was going to come out, and people were like, "Oh, I'm going to wait to see my spy movie." Then.
Yeah.
Well, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. isn't it based off a graphic novel?
No, it's based off of the 70s.
Oh yeah, the TV series.
Yes.
But for me, it's. I really want to see. I think it's a noir film. To me, it looks like a noir film. Just a very.
It has very noir style, but it is very kind of. It's very. It's a very timely spy movie.
Isn't that the one with
Armie Hammer and
the guy who played
Cavill,
the guy who played in the failed movie with Johnny Depp, The Lone Ranger.
Armie Hammer, yeah.
He's being sought out for a couple other roles, I hear, for Disney's Marvel and DC. So, he's
a good actor when he's given the right material.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that he's a great comedic actor too. But I would really like to see what he can do in the Marvel, in the DCEU. So, but did you hear that they cast Josh Brolin for Cable?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that.
I like that casting, just because it was out of nowhere.
It was out of nowhere, but I really wanted the guy from Avatar.
Stephen Lang. Yeah.
I mean, he would have been better.
Yeah.
Shouldn't old Cable be Ron Perlman?
Ron Perlman was they did a bunch of like fan drawings for him.
They did. Yeah. Well, there was him, Stephen Cable, and then a couple other who it could be. It's also a female Cable too. I was just like Keira Knightley, I think was considered.
Keira Knightley was in.
And I'm just like, see Keira Knightley as Cable. That'd be great. But I don't know. I'd like to see what they do later down the road. I think it's Deadpool 2 comes out next year.
Yeah.
June 1st or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think King Arthur is definitely going to be one of those movies that definitely gives it a run for its money. Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's going to be the top. I think it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy first. That second. I think it's going to be very, very well directed, in my opinion, because Guy Ritchie doesn't take any shortcuts. No. Guy Ritchie wants to tell the story as it unfolds.
Yeah.
And he won't, he's worked with Jude Law before. He's worked with many other actors before, and I think that this really will showcase the origin of King Arthur the way it was meant to be. Clive Owen just talks about the Saxons. This talks about the beginning.
All right, let's move on to the 19th. We have Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. We won't talk about that because that looks shitty.
It's awful. I don't know why they keep making... This is a film that should not be made in May. This is a film that should be released in August. When it's the death of cinema. Or just like the last week of July or something like that.
Diary?
Yeah.
It's for kids, man.
But yeah, but
it doesn't matter if it's for kids.
Here's the thing:
look that shit.
Most of the kids are still in school, and they're not going to see it unless they're out of school. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it should not be made, continue to be made, because the actor keeps getting.
Well, this is a reboot. It's a whole reboot.
It's a whole reboot. Okay, then
it doesn't excuse the fact that it looks very shitty.
It does look very shitty.
Straight to
kids don't really care. Kids watch YouTube all the time. Kids don't care.
No, kids don't care. It shouldn't matter if kids don't care because it should look that shitty. All right,
kids will still watch it though.
Kids will still.
Yeah. Mom, take me to that movie.
I'm like, no, you're gonna go see Alien Covenant. No, scare shit on. The next movie coming out 19th is Everything, Everything, which is based off a novel by Nicole Yoon. It tells about a teenager who's lived in a sheltered life because she's apparently allergic to everything until she finds the boy next door and finds love.
I've heard of this movie where he sneaks in and they sneak off, etc., and it's just the mom freaks out. It's a classic tale of like Romeo and Juliet, but this in the case that Juliet is really sick and Romeo is on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like a very good movie. Will it do well? I'd say no. But, to really bring awareness to how people cope with, disease on the inside. I mean, there are a lot of people. There are people like that. There are people like that. And I think it's like with the Lowrider thing, you're bringing awareness to, a disease or diseases that showcase that people can't go outside. They can't have a normal life. You're basically living. It's like the boy in the plastic bubble. That's basically what it is. You can't really do much with that. And you go from there. But
Dan,
what? Oh, I was looking at the movie.
Stop Facebook stalking.
I was looking at the movies. Girls and boys will always get together.
All right then, there we go. Next movie we talked about earlier, Alien Covenant. The sequel to Prometheus, but yet still a prequel to Alien. Very good cast. Michael Fassbender's back. My man crush, Michael Fassbender.
Oh, my other man crush. I loved him in Assassin's Creed.
He was good in Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed itself
sucked.
wasn't that good.
To be honest, I liked the movie.
I liked it when they were in the past.
So did I.
And then when they got to the present, I was like,
no,
I'm done. So Michael Fassbender, Catherine Waterstone's in there, Billy Crudup, Carmen Egigo, Damian Bashir, Danny McBride. Naomi Rapaz's back as well, James Franco, and Guy Pearce. Of course, once again directed by Ridley Scott.
Wait. Guy Pearce is in it. Didn't he die in the last one?
I'm pretty sure it'd be like a flashback or something. Or they'll have him like on a screen or something.
I would imagine.
Because he plays Peter Wayland.
I know, but I would imagine it's like him sending them off or whatever. Would it be? I don't know how
it's probably going to be like a flashback. It'll probably be like one of David's flashbacks.
Probably.
Because Michael Fassbender's pulling double duty. He's playing David from Prometheus, and he's playing a new android with the Covenant.
How long?
It's 30 years. It's 30 years from the events of Prometheus to the events of Alien Covenant.
Can we see do we see their home planet, or do we just
see that it's taking place on the home planet?
Do we see more? Do we see more of those humanoid aliens?
What's it called? The engineers?
Yeah, the engineers.
Probably.
Cool.
We will see new alien xenomorphs, or neomorphs, as Ridley Scott said they were called.
Are they making new types of aliens?
They haven't gotten to the xenomorph yet. This is more of like a pre-evolution of the xenomorph.
You know how at the end of Alien Prometheus.
Yeah,
they had the blue one.
They had the big blue one, and they had like the one that came out.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna have these new ones that are.
These are more.
Pre-xenomorph.
Yeah, this is like the next. This is the pre-evolution of the xenomorph. Yeah. It's basically what it becomes beforehand.
Are you sure he's going to continue making movies, or
he's got four more scripts?
He's got at least a few more scripts.
He can end up like his brother.
Don't be that person. Because his brother made awesome movies. I mean.
Oh, I love Spy Game. Spy Game's amazing.
Tony Scott, by the way, for those guys that don't know what I'm talking about.
So, but I love the train movie, Runaway or
Was
something train.
Unstoppable.
Chris Pine, Unstoppable. Yes,
That
was a good movie. And
Am I getting played here?
all right. So.
but I think Alien Covenant will do extremely well because people love those to be scared, that suspense, that oh my god, what's going on? Because they want to know what happened in between.
And it's brand recognition. Everyone knows Alien.
Yeah.
So, and that for like, I know when the trailer came out, the last one, the newest one.
Yeah.
When they show that shot of the alien bashing his head into the window, it's like, oh, that shows too much. No, you want that shot because you want to know, like, oh, this is an alien movie.
Yeah.
There's gonna be alien because the first one, Prometheus.
They were like questions like, is this alien?
Yeah, everyone was like, is it alien? Is it? And I know like a lot of people bashed Prometheus because it wasn't like a true alien prequel. But it wasn't supposed to be a true.
Yeah, it was supposed to be trying to go out and search for new life, and you're wondering because
yes, it's alien, but it's
alien,
not.
But it's
alien that we know.
Yeah, but it's an architecture. Here it is. It's an architectural, archaeological movie where you're trying to find. You see all of these different things all over the planet. And then you finally have coordinates to them, and you're like, okay, we're going to go find these and set out and do whatever. So, it's always the classic thing. You arrive on an alien planet, shit goes wrong, shit hits the fan, and then, everyone dies, and then you're left with either one or two survivors, this case being a head and, new rapies. Yeah. And, you go to find the engineers, and then we don't know what happens in those 30 years. So all we get is a 2-minute video of,
They released the 2-minute video
of him being repaired, but she being placed into stasis.
Yeah.
So she still could be possibly alive, but we don't know that.
We don't know what David's doing.
Yeah.
David's a creepy bastard. We don't know.
It's like Teen Titans, but Teen Titans East.
It's like what?
It's like Teen Titans, but Teen Titans East.
Nice. Very nice. All right, let's move on to the 25th, which is a Thursday. Baywatch.
God, no.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see those bodies.
It's not gonna. It's gonna be cheap. Like everyone's like, oh, they're making Baywatch like.
Unless there is a cameo by the Hoff himself, there is. Then I will go see it, but only for the cameo, and then I'm walking out.
It's her. It's her. It's him and Pamela Anderson.
Oh God.
Yeah.
She's dating a spy.
I don't give a shit about that.
But it's just like this is a thing that didn't need to be made into a. Because Baywatch wasn't really serious as a TV show. It was more.
No, because
it wasn't funny. Excuse me. It wasn't comical as a TV show. It was more serious, but you did have fun. But that's kind of like what they did for Chips. Chips didn't need to be made into a budding comedy. No. It's the same with Baywatch. But it's hot people in red swimwear. That's all it is. And it's.
Yeah, but people like saying that. Yeah. That's what makes money.
Like everyone was like, why did they turn Baywatch into this? Like it was always like that. You just didn't know it.
No. I mean,
it didn't take itself seriously back then. Like you don't put people in slow motion running to save someone because they're gonna fucking die. Like no. Like I'm gonna go watch it. I don't care.
No, but I'm gonna go back and now I'm gonna go back and watch Pamela Anderson just go vroom, vroom, in slow motion.
She has a liver problem.
Who?
Pamela Anderson.
Does she?
She has liver problem. She has a liver problem?
I would imagine so from banging Tommy Lee so many times.
No.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
It was an STD show.
Let us move on to the 26th.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, then
I heard that this is the last movie in the franchise. I hear they're not.
That's not true. That's not true.
I read through comicbook.com.
I don't trust comicbook.com for movies like this.
Nah.
They're good for other stuff, but not for.
Because I heard this was the last big one where everyone is coming back as far as cast goes. Because you have Keira Knightley coming back, you have Orlando Bloom, you have
I gotta
Roush.
see this.
You have and it's a very interesting thing to see what happens, but they've been promoting it like crazy. It just needs to come out already, and with the varying parts of Johnny Depp coming out and taking over the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, et cetera, so that's kind of fun. But
does Keira Knightley still starve herself?
No, it looks like she's been eating from the little TV spot. From a little TV spot they showed.
Well, that could be CGI.
That's true. No, I like the first 2. 3 felt like it was an hour too long.
Yeah.
3 felt like it was too pushed.
And then 4 was just terrible. It wasn't.
4 was terrible.
This one looks really good. I've mentioned this on the regular podcast. I mean, this is a podcast too, but the other episodes. That this is the first time I'm actually excited for a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah.
When the first teaser came out, where it was just when it just showed Javier Bardem coming onto the ship as Barbosa, I was not Barbosa. That's Jeffrey Rush's character. As Salazar, I was like, yeah, I like this. I like where they're going. And then everything so far that they've been releasing is great. I'm excited for it. I mean, yeah.
Is Captain Jack going to beat his prostitute?
No.
There is no word on another Pirates of the Caribbean movie as far as IMDb goes, but
IMDb isn't always.
More times than most, they're up to date all the way up through 2020.
Not always. No.
Because they
weren't updated with the Ghost of the Shell movie for the longest time.
Oh,
They rarely had information on that.
Check on that.
I really want them to do another Hellboy movie, but
that ain't gonna happen.
Nope.
So Pirates of the Caribbean. So that is May.
I think that's going to do very well.
Oh yeah. What are we looking forward very quickly the most in the month of May?
Month of May, I think for me, the top picks will be Guardians of the Galaxy. I think the top pick will be King Arthur, Alien Covenant, and Pirates. I think that's the top picks for me as far as what will do well. I don't think, as far as horrible stuff, I think Snatched is going to bomb. I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid will do well, but not great. I think Everything will do well, but not great. Baywatch, I think, will bomb.
No, Baywatch not.
No. I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid will win Oscar.
No. Get the fuck out of my house.
I think Snatched will have many tears crying in the theater. No.
Because people are sad they wasted their money on watching it?
No, I think Guardians of the Galaxy will do well. I think Baywatch will do well. I think Lowriders will do better than most people expect.
That's what I think too.
And I think Alien Covenant will probably, a whole bunch of nerds will just freak out because it'll probably be good, better than Prometheus. But I have doubts about that.
They want to see the comic relief Danny McBride get killed, so that's going to happen.
I'm gonna go out of the way and say Dan McBride at least makes it to the final act of the movie.
That's what I'm hoping too.
He's gonna make it to the final. He's gonna be like one of the last ones to die.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler because I haven't seen the fucking movie. All right, so fuck down. People listening. All right, let's move on to June. June 2nd, we got 2 movies. We got Captain Underpants and Wonder Woman.
Okay, so here's my.
I want to see that.
I've had my reservations about Wonder Woman for a long time. Ever since they cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I don't think she is the character to play it. I don't think she can live up to Diana's name. I don't think she can, all the stuff that's in the movie. I think I just can't see it. She I'm not trying to bash on the actress, but she didn't take speech lessons to make her sound more American. I get it. She's supposed to not American, but in English of what it is that we see in the comics and the TV shows and the movies. It's supposed to be, I get it. You're from a foreign island, but that's out in the middle of the sea that no one seems to know about. But for me, it's just like I've had reservations about it for a long time. Chris Pine, I love because I love him as Steve Trevor. And I love him as that character. I just want to see what it's going to be like. I'm holding reservations. I'm like 50-50 on the movie. Now, as far as,
I think everyone is.
I think everyone is because as I say this to a lot of people, when you compare Marvel and DC, you actually can't. Because here's the thing. Marvel does great live action movies. They do shitty animation movies. DC does shitty live action movies with the account of Batman for Christopher Nolan, but they do great animation movies. And there's the comparison, because Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers cannot shell out the money for live action like Disney and Marvel can. Disney, I mean, is at one point, they're in the billions of dollars for whatever. I mean, they own Star Wars, they own Marvel. They're willing to shell out the money. If they had the money, they would buy DC Universe and do it from there and do it right.
Yeah.
But with DCEU being so spread out, so many different people own so many characters, you don't know where to start looking.
Yeah.
And but I think that I'm 50-50 for the movie, so I'm going to see what happens and see how it goes. I'll still go and watch it, don't get me wrong, but I still want to see what's going to be. Do they say who the main villain is?
Everyone's saying Ares, but it hasn't been confirmed.
Okay, so it's not Cheetah or
everyone is saying that it's Ares.
Okay. I mean, it's during World War I, so the God of War.
Dr. Poison, I think that's the character's name. Something like that.
But I heard, okay, so it's maybe...
But Ares is like the overall...
Well, yeah, because it's during World War I, the God of War has to feed on rage and despair, so... But, I was kind of hoping for maybe like Cheetah or someone else to, that could really give Wonder Woman a run for her money. Not in the fact that, it's... the son of... The daughter of, what's her mother's name? Hippolyta.
Yeah.
The daughter of Hippolyta in Hades, going up against Ares. So it's a demigod going up against the god. And it's like, But, when we come into Captain Underpants, I think that's going to be a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah.
Because it's Captain Underpants. It's basically Fat Whale Man.
Yeah.
I think, what's that Chris Pine movie where he's that Coast Guard Disney movie? I have a thing for crappy Disney movies.
Finest Hours?
Yes. Yeah.
Finest Hours, yeah, I got that on DVD. I want to see it just because if it does suck, then... Oh, wait, no, Marvel's Disney.
No.
Never mind it. Well, I just want to see it because it's got Chris Pine and it's World War I.
But they're also doing another Star Trek movie, so he's pretty set.
Yeah.
Man. He's good. He's good on the franchise.
Yeah, he's
good.
If
Wonder Woman was Disney, then I would have a reason to see a crappy Disney movie. But it's WB.
The thing about Wonder Woman for me is, I've mentioned this in the podcast before, because I love bashing on DCEU because it's so easy. Because they make it so easy.
Yeah.
The thing about Wonder Woman is that even if Wonder Woman's good, and I hope it's good,
I want to be blown. I want to be my expectations to change. I really do, because I'm really getting tired of Zack Snyder, to be honest. Like I've seen the.
Is that the 300 guy?
Yeah.
He sucks.
And Sucker Punch, Sucker Punch is awful. I could write a better movie than that. Having a creative writing degree, but I feel like with the Justice League movie that's coming up, it just looks so bad.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if Wonder Woman's good, like Wonder Woman's like, yeah, we finally got a really good DCU movie. And then fucking Justice League comes out. It's like, that's it. Like no one's gonna fucking care about the DCU anymore.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't.
Here's the thing: they should have gone the way that Marvel did it, where they had the individual movies and they were building up to the Justice League movie. That's what they should have done.
That's what they should have done, but
they didn't do it. They just started with Batman.
Instead, they just fucking bloated all their fucking characters in one movie.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, see, we can do it. No, you can't.
Even the first Superman movie they did.
The first Superman movie was good. Okay, I'll give.
I did not like it.
Are you talking about Man of Steel or
Man of Steel?
I did not like
Man of Steel was good.
Man of Steel was good. Man of Steel was good.
Well, second one that they're working on is supposed to come out after Justice League. And to me, it just doesn't. They should have gone the way that Marvel did it. That's what they should have done, because for the Justice League movie, I hear it's supposed to be like one of Darkseid's generals that's coming.
It's Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
And one actress looks like Erin Burnett.
And I'm just like, if I'm thinking maybe it's Darkseid sending him to test Earth's defenses and see if it's a conquerable planet. If it is, and either Steppenwolf comes back and says that they have fight in them, I think Darkseid is going to make a definite appearance in Justice League 2.
I'll definitely get teased in the first one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
they'll do like a Thanos where like he just like they see his throne and like yeah.
Oh yeah,
you see his eyes. And
you're gonna see the Death Ray, or whatever it is,
Ray?
the Omega Ray, But I really just want him to be voiced by the same guy who did it in the Justice League TV show.
I forgot what that was.
But
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because he just sounded so fucking evil. It was great.
We'll see what happens.
But I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid will do it. I mean, not Diary. Captain Underpants will do extremely well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the 9th. We have 2 movies coming out on the 9th. We have It Comes at Night, which is going to be a smaller fair movie. It's by A24, who's doing a great job over there. It feels like there's no real timeline for the movie. It almost feels post-apocalyptic, but I don't think it is. But It Comes at Night. It's really good. The trailer is very eerie and stuff. And
what's it about?
It's about these people who live in a isolated home in the woods, and something happened. We don't see what happened in the trailer. We don't know what's going on. But then they get some people come through the house and they invite them in, and then they're trying to decide what's going on.
Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah, the horror movies are trying a new market where they're coming out in the summertime now.
Well, they've been doing that for a while.
They've been doing it for a while,
but it wasn't until The Conjuring where it was like, oh shit, this can actually work.
Yeah.
And then last year they did it again with Conjuring 2,
mm-hmm.
But this year it's like, but A24 is like a smaller company, so I don't expect them to be like, I'll have to give it another look at it. The trailer's very eerie if you guys want to go check it out. And obviously we'll talk about that more when the movie comes out on the podcast. But the second movie coming out on the 9th is The Mummy.
Oh, that'll do so well.
Which of course stars yelling Tom Cruise, as people like to say after the trailer came out. Sophia Bontella from Kingsman, the girl with the 2 amputated legs. She's playing the Mummy.
She is fucking awesome in the trailer. I mean, the way that she portrays herself, because it's almost like, with the first couple of Mummy movies that came out that were set, in ancient Egypt.
The Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser ones. They were very campy, in my opinion. This is now like in your face. Okay, we have better CGI now, but it's just like. Every turn is a suspense ride.
I'm not saying because it's got Tom Cruise. I don't see his movies, man.
Just Tom Cruise?
Edge of Tomorrow was really good, for that part. It was gripping. It was on your feet. But this is now the start of a whole new monster franchise from Universal, and they're going to bring in, they already have Russell Crowe playing Dr. Jekyll, and that's going to be insane.
Oh, so this is basically the Universal version of Justice League that they're starting.
No, I think they're just trying to put all the like
the werewolf, Frankenstein, Invisible Man.
Yeah, that's what Dracula Untold was supposed to be, and then no one watched Dracula Untold.
No.
Or not enough people watched Dracula Untold.
I mean, I like Luke Evans, but I just couldn't see him in.
The movie was alright. I mean, he was good, but just the movie
itself.
So
then, is this a reboot of Mummy, or
this is a reboot? It's a reboot of the franchise.
What happened to Brendan Fraser? Is he dead?
No, Brendan Fraser just doesn't make movies anymore.
Why?
He's not a bankable star anymore.
Huh?
He's not a bankable star anymore. Not like he was in the 90s.
Maybe you should get plastic surgery.
He actually looks really good in his last updated.
He does look pretty. I mean, he still looks not young, but he still looks like Brendan Fraser.
Hey man, you can marry 20-year-olds now. he can just go to a bar and pick out a 20-year-old. Hey, I'm a movie star. When did you start a movie? In the 90s?
And that's it. I mean, that's pretty what some girls do. So that
but people are young and ignorant at that age, man.
Alright, so we have The Mummy and It Comes at Night. The 16th, we have a few movies coming out. Then we have 47 Meters Down, which is a new shark movie with Mandy Moore. That's right, I said Mandy Moore. No, we're not in the 90s, we're in time travel. Mandy Moore's actually starting.
Mandy Moore's so beautiful. Wait, was it Mandy Moore?
The singer.
The singer.
Yeah, I love her.
47 Meters Down. It's about 2 sisters who are vacationing in Mexico, and they're trapped in a shark cage, obviously 47 meters down in the ocean, and they have to battle and oxygen is running low, and they only have an hour to get up to
the surface.
So there's that. We have the new Tupac biopic, All Eyes on Me.
I think that would be a very good, documentary.
Oh, it's not a documentary. It's just it's a biopic.
No, I know, but to me it reads as a documentary.
I'll get to that in a second. Rough Night, which is it stars Scarlett Johansson, Kate McKinnon, Jillian Bell, Alana Glazer, Zoe Kravitz. as best friends during a bachelor party, and one of their male strippers ends up dead, and they have to figure out what to do with the stripper, and then of course hijinks ensue. And then there's Cars 3 from Pixar.
I think this is being the end of because everything likes to happen in threes and triplicate for this type of movie. I think Cars 3 will definitely see the end of Owen Wilson's character, Lightning.
Not only that, no one likes Cars 3.
I really do.
Not Cars 3. No one really likes Cars.
No.
If you ask anyone, like, what is your least favorite Pixar movie?
Cars.
They're probably going to say Cars. No one saw planes. No one's going to pick planes.
Wait, there's planes?
See? No one fucking saw planes.
But here's the thing. Like, for me, during the first one, I did cry, during the first Cars.
Yeah.
Because it's just so emotional with the fact that,
I was 13.
He didn't finish the race, but still helps his friend. This is about someone who's new and up and coming in the field, and you're definitely trying to figure out how to cope with that, how to be better, how to go back and find your roots. I think the second one was just stupid as hell. It was him being mistaken.
I see the second one because it looks stupid.
It was him being mistaken for a spy car or something like that.
Yeah, 70% on IMDb.
And,
worst rated Pixar movie.
But this one, I think, is going to be... It's got Benedict Cumberbatch playing the anti-hero villain or whatever it is. And it's supposed to be really, really good. I mean, the first trailer was really dark. And that's never something that, for a Pixar movie that Disney really goes after.
But then they released a new trailer I think it was this week. They released a new trailer, and it took away all that grittiness and darkness.
The grittiness was still there.
Which I knew was going to happen.
But the grittiness is still there.
I was a bit bummed out. I knew they were going to take it away.
Yeah.
Because it's a Pixar movie. It's like, no.
But I think the grittiness and the hardcore action is still going to be there.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying it's not going to be there.
Do you think... did you see that new Pixar short that got an award? It was basically some sheriff's protege, and then he died, and then came back older, and like he was crying, so it was like really dark. Do you think Pixar or any animated movie, they'll make a dark one like 9, or was it 11, or is it 13?
You're talking about
9.
9.
Well, 9 wasn't Pixar or Disney. It was some other.
It was a stop motion.
It was a stop. I'm trying to think of the company. I can't think of the company.
Do you think that'll ever happen?
No, I think the darkest Pixar will ever go is Up. When they made every adult in that theater cry.
Or Coco. That's coming out in September.
Or Coco's coming out. Well, that's Coco is it? Oh yeah,
it is.
What's Coco?
Coco is it's basically their Day of the Dead film.
Días de Muertos. Yeah.
Which I was like, I already saw Book of Life, so I mean that's my
Book of Life was happy, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it touched on Day of the Dead in a very effective way. Being Mexican, that's why.
I'm from Elite School myself.
No, you're not. Was it Cars, Rough Night? Rough Night looks okay. Doesn't look all that great. 47 meters down. I mean, you can't go for shark movies. I mean,
no.
Shark movies is like.
Here's the thing: the only shark movie that I'm really looking forward to is Meg.
Nah.
With Jason Statham, and that's the only shark movie I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Other than that, anything else before that is just it's a creepy camper. That's all it is.
It's
what about those genetically engineered sharks that became smart?
We're not talking about
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That is quintessential. If you haven't seen Deep Blue Sea,
go see it.
Just watch it. Yeah. It is quintessential 90s.
Yeah.
At its finest.
Because Samuel L. Jackson gets killed by a shark.
Yeah. That's not spoiled because that's everywhere. If you haven't fucking seen that scene, then I don't know what you're doing.
Wait, wasn't Mandy Moore in that?
No.
No, it was a girl.
Saffron Burrows.
Okay. Is she still around?
Yeah, she's still. Okay. She does small stuff every now and then.
Oh, independent stuff because she's older?
No, she just does a lot of stuff over in Britain.
Most of the time now is a lot of the actors who are older now go back to the stage where they started.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she's a stage actress now too. And All Eyes on Me looks kind of like a TV movie. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
The 23rd.
Transformers. I can't wait for this. It's just.
I'll let you take over because I don't care about Transformers.
Me neither.
The last movie was just way too long. I get it. You have to give a whole different aspect of the story, but this to me just seems like, Optimus Prime coming back from the mirror universe. He's hopped up on Dark Energon. He's fucking with everyone, and I really want to see how Megatron/Galvatron is gonna, definitely play a role in this, because he really hasn't been teased much in the trailers. But I really want to see what the Knights have to do with, what's his face in the beginning of the trailer. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it right now, but I know what you're talking about.
Unicron?
No, it's not Unicron.
The guy who played Dr. Lecter.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, Anthony Hopkins. I really want to know the backstory of that, because to me, it's never really about the action. I love learning stories and what goes on in the history of the planet and how things were made and created. I like to see what happens when Unicron is coming in. So we'll see what happens. But I definitely think that we're going to definitely see a different, because this is the last time that he's directing. He's made it clear that he's not coming back.
He said that last time too. Until they say so and so is directing the next Transformers movie, I will believe it.
Yeah. Well,
they already have. According to him, they have about 10 Transformers scripts written.
Oh my God! Do those even still make money?
They make a shit ton of money. They've made over $1 billion.
This is the fucking 5th movie. Or 6th movie. I don't fucking know.
Come on, they all suck now.
No, it's $1 billion franchise.
It makes more money overseas than it does.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Especially when you go overseas, the international box office, they come in around $500 million opening weekend. Yeah. When it finishes, I think the last Transformers movie was
over $1 billion.
Was over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael Bay, where'd you make your most money?
Transformers.
No, where'd you make your most money? Paraguay?
Or Armageddon. Armageddon is still more.
Man, they should. Shia LaBeouf shouldn't have.
He's not in.
No, well, he became an artist, man.
No,
did he? Okay. He became a fucking loser.
Just do it.
Do it. So yeah, there you go. That's Transformers. Yeah. Moving on to the 28th, which is a movie I'm looking forward to, is Baby Driver. Directed by Edgar Wright. It is about a getaway driver named Baby. Yes, his name is Baby.
Yeah.
Played by Ansel Elgort, who plays his own soundtrack due to a condition he has. But of course, he finds himself in trouble with his crew after a heist goes wrong. The film also stars Lily James, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, John Bernthal, and Kevin Spacey.
I think John Hamm is doing it in movies again?
I think this is a movie definitely that people are going to be blown away about. I think this is a movie that's definitely going to, surprise a lot of people. I think this is a movie that's going to do very, very, very well.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because it's basically, to me, it reeks of the Italian Job mixed with, like, Ocean's 11, mixed with, various other things. But I think, if someone's really that good at what they do, you don't really question it.
And it's Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
I've loved everything Edgar Wright has done. So, and the cast is pretty decent. It's pretty good cast.
John Hamm, go ham like John Hamm.
I like John Hamm.
I don't like John.
Yo, man, I'm gonna go ham right now. Yeah, how ham you gonna go? I'm gonna ham like John Hamm.
All right, stop that. So there's that. Let's move on to the final week of final week of June. We have 3 movies. We have The House, which is stars Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler as a husband and wife trying to put their daughter through college when they find out they don't have any money to send her to college, so they open up a casino.
They spend her,
or they spend, or something like that. Something doesn't matter. No one's going.
Doesn't matter. She's not going to college.
Doesn't matter. They open up a casino in their basement.
Here's
and
the
they
thing.
get in trouble.
I can't stand Will Ferrell. I don't like him I liked him in the sketch comedy for SNL. I can't stand him in movies. I just can't.
What about the dramatic movie he did? He did 2.
He did 2. He did the one where he's the writer is writing his life.
The writer is writing his life. I forgot what it's called.
That was so good.
And then the other one, I can't remember what it is, but he...
Old School.
Well, no, it was comedy.
That was comedy.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I thought it was drama.
No.
What? Damn.
But no, I just can't. I can't find him to be a good actor in movies. SNL, his sketch comedy shit is legend. You know, Jeopardy is the shit. You know, especially when he takes on Turd Ferguson, but also does comes out into the boardroom with the American flag thong. Mm-hmm. That's just pure gold. But to me, it's I don't like Amy Poehler that much. I just don't like them in movies. I think TV shows or whatever, where they're doing sketch comedy is so much better for them. But we'll see how it goes. It could be one of those, surprise moment movies where it's like with Seth Rogen and in The Next Door Neighbor or whatever it was. Neighbors, yeah. Like that could be the surprise movie. But I am looking forward to. I mean, Amityville.
I'll mention Amityville because Amityville: The Awakening. This movie was shot 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was shot 5 years ago.
It's getting released now.
And it's getting released now. It was supposed to be released 3 times, but it kept getting pushed back.
Because of reshoots and reshoots.
They were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna remove it from the schedule, and then put it back on." I don't care about this movie anymore. I honestly don't care about this movie. Why did they
do that? Was
it because
they knew it was that bad?
Well, some people say it was bad because some people said there was test screenings that said the movie wasn't good, so they went back and did some reshoots. They did 3 years worth of reshoots for that thing, and then they just shelved it after.
Who wrote it? Who directed it?
A bunch of fucking nobodies.
I don't know. But I think
I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of nobodies.
I think the best one that's going to be great is Despicable Me 3.
And Despicable Me 3 is the last movie on the 30th.
What about Megamind 2?
They haven't started.
Which is Gru finding his brother
his
named
twin
Drew.
Brother. Drew, yeah.
Also voiced by Steve Carell.
Who has hair.
And
wants to get into the family business.
Yeah. And then they're trying to stop Balthazar Bart, voiced by South Park's Trey Parker.
Yep. So it's very interesting to see how that goes. But
it's Despicable Me.
It's Despicable Me. Here's the thing: all animation movies, especially with Illumination and DreamWorks and everything else, they make billions.
Oh, especially Despicable Me.
Oh yeah, and
because Minions wasn't that good of a movie, but it still made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and like Kung Fu Panda, that series is a fucking $1 billion franchise.
Oh yeah.
And Despicable Me is a $1 billion franchise. Animation movies, especially computer animation movies, do well.
Oh yeah, doesn't matter when
extremely well.
And this is a good prime spot for it.
Oh yeah, especially going into July with the July 4th weekend. Fuck yeah.
All right, so let's move on to July. First movie coming out in July is July 7th, and of course it is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Aunt May's hot.
Young Aunt May. Aunt May's just gonna keep getting younger and younger.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a point in the movie where they reboot the franchise where she's like 15 years old.
Yeah.
That's where they're going.
Here's the thing. I have my reservations about it because what Anthony Garfield did was basically what Sorry, what did I say? Anthony Garfield? No, Andrew Garfield did basically was this is how Stan Lee.
They screwed him over.
Well, yeah, of course they screwed him over. But that was
Sony's fault. Sorry.
But Stan Lee said that this was the Spider-Man that was meant to be through Andrew Garfield. Homecoming to me seems like a kid that's just being molded by,
Tony
Stark, and he's just not being able to do his own thing.
Yeah.
Because he has
the trailers. Let's be fair, from the trailers.
But it just looks like he's got Jarvis in his suit. It's a propelled suit. He's got the kid block Wi-Fi on there, etc., etc. You can't watch anything stupid, but
it's like the Spider-Man that airs on Disney XD.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
it's like that.
To me, it just seems really, I don't know. It just seems really childish to me that it's kind of like I have to prove my worth to these people. I have to do self-worth to people, etc., etc. That's the movie to me. It's not, Spider-Man 2, with Jamie Foxx sucked, but the first one was great.
Yeah.
Just the comedy was there, the sarcasm, the snippiness, everything from the first TV show, from the 90s was great.
Jamie Foxx, you came so I like Emma Stone. She is pretty.
Of course, Emma Stone's pretty.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
All right, so.
Why'd they break up, man?
They didn't break up. They broke up because of scheduling conflicts with their relationship, but they're still
Friends.
But I think they're getting back together because they like stare at each other at every single award show. Like,
damn, man, they still horny for each other.
I stare at Emma Stone.
Yeah, me too.
I just watched the kiss between Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield, and that was just,
What was the Golden Globes, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then when she won the Oscar, he's just staring at her like, I want to jump your bones right now.
All right, so that's Spider-Man: Homecoming coming out the following weekend, which is the 14th. We got 2 movies. We got Wish Upon, which is about a teenage girl who discovers a box that carries magic powers and a deadly price for using them.
Yeah, this is the one where she's like, I wish the teenage girl would rot, and then she actually starts to rot. And I'm just like, this is like every teen revenge movie ever.
Yeah.
Although with magical powers. It's kind of like...
Every teen is angsty.
And so to me, it's just something that offers something that I don't want to go see. I mean, I'm sure there's, the teens that will go see it and be like, I wonder if I can use that in revenge, etc., etc.
No, they'll just use Twitter because they don't fucking know anything. That's right. Fucking teching you millennials.
Technically, you're a millennial.
Technically, but I don't consider myself a millennial.
Neither do I,
But technically, yes, I am, but I don't consider myself. Anyway, the next movie coming out on the 14th is War for the Planet of the Apes.
This is going to be a sick-ass movie. It's the 3rd movie in the franchise. It's pretty much, humanity is at peace at the moment, but it's supposed to be epic, where they go and try and wipe out everything of the apes. The guy from Zombieland is in it.
Woody Harrelson.
What?
Woody Harrelson.
Yes, and he plays the leader, and I'm just like, I want to see what this is going to play out to be, because this is pretty much the epic build-up showdown to the end of all things. Whether it's going to be the ape homeworld or the human homeworld. So this is definitely going to be the battle for the ages.
All right.
Teens are too angsty.
I don't even know that anymore.
Okay, good.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, this looks good. I'm really looking forward to this. I've liked all the Planet of the Apes movies so far, so I'm looking forward to this one. 21st, we have 3 movies. We have Girls Trip, which we're not going to talk about because that doesn't look that good.
Girls Trip, hey!
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, and Dunkirk.
See, I have my reservations about Valerian because I've read the graphic novel. The graphic novel is fantastic. To me, it's going to be like, like what I was telling you earlier about Jupiter Ascending. You're going to pour a huge, giant budget into that, and it's just going to be not worth it.
Who directed Jupiter Ascending?
The Wachowskis.
The Wachowskis.
That's why it sucked.
But, to me, I think it's definitely going to focus on, big, giant landscapes, huge CGI forms. And that's great, but it's just going to seem like it's like Spy Kids on steroids to me.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't know.
From what I've seen, I wouldn't go.
I'm like 50-50.
Are those 2 actors new? The brother and sister?
No, they're not even brother and sister. They're partners.
Oh, they're mothers?
It's Dan DeHaan.
Mm-hmm.
Dan DeHaan from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But I don't know.
He played Osborn.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah.
That doesn't even look like him.
And then what's her face? Cara Delevingne.
Yeah.
Who played Enchantress in Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see.
Sucky movie.
We'll see how it goes. That's another one that could be a 50-50. It could do really well or it could do really bad. With Jupiter Ascending and the one that was before it with Tom Hanks, I mean, they've both sucked.
Okay, but they're not. This one isn't directed by the Wachowskis.
No, I know that, but as history has shown us, with stuff that's on a big scale, that's not, from a reputable background, it's not going to do well, in my opinion. But
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, I think, is going to do extremely well in the fact that Christopher Nolan wrote that and talks about how it. We were talking earlier about how it being a psychological movie. Talking about what war does to people. How you can't get off.
Oh, I've seen it.
Off an island or something like that, and it's just a horrible thing of how to deal with death, how to deal with psychological warfare, how to deal with people, how to deal with the war that's going on. I think that's a really cool idea to go on. I think that's going to do very well. I don't think it's going to do great, but I think it's going to do better than Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, just because it's Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I saw, what was it, about like 5 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
In front of Rogue One on the IMAX screen. So there were select IMAX screens that showed 5 minutes of Dunkirk. It was fucking good.
Oh yeah.
It was fucking.
To me, it reminisces of Saving Private Ryan and Thin Red Line. In that.
A little bit, yeah,
pretty
much, yeah. All right, so let's move on to the 28th, which is the last week of July. We have an Inconvenient sequel, which is the sequel to The Inconvenient Truth. We have the fucking Emoji Movie. It's not called the fucking Emoji Movie. I'm calling it the fucking Emoji Movie because there's a fucking Emoji Movie. And then Atomic Blonde, which I'm looking forward to the most. Atomic Blonde is the Charlize Theron movie where she plays an MI6 agent who's sent to Berlin because another agent dies, and she has to go there and she has to find out who killed him. And there's a what do they call it? There's a specific word for it, but there's like files that she has to go find.
Yeah. Oh, dossier?
Something like that, yeah. It looks really good.
But I think that's going to do well. But I watched The Inconvenient Truth, and it
does not exist.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I'm just kidding.
And so I definitely saw it where I think this is going to be a really great way to showcase more of what climate change really is. So.
I'm not.
Oh no, it's
go
getting
watch
bad.
It, but I don't think this is a good spot for it.
Neither do I. And towards the end of July, towards August, I think it's bad.
It doesn't feel like a summer movie. That's just what it feels like.
Documentaries
no one's not going to go watch that.
Documentaries never feel like a summer movie.
No. I mean, you can release them during the summer, just not a wide release movie like this one's going to be. People are going to go watch it. I'm just saying. I just don't like the spot that it's
I'll
in.
be 70-year-olds. Let's go see a documentary.
Alright, so let's move on to August. August 4th, we have 3 movies. We have Midnight Sun, which we won't really talk about too much because I don't want to. But it's based off a Japanese film for those guys who want to. They also have The Dark Tower, Stephen King, based off a Stephen King series. And then we have Detroit, directed by Catherine Bigelow, which is set during the Detroit riots.
It's not being released?
It is being released.
Oh, when?
The 4th.
Okay.
I think The Dark Tower is definitely going to be, because they've talked about it for years, and now I don't think there's a trailer for it yet.
There's no trailer. I think the trailer's coming soon. I think it's going to be attached to Guardians.
Okay. I think that it's definitely going to be one of those that it's going to surprise everyone in August.
Yeah,
because it's got Idris Elba in there, right?
Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, Jackie Earle Haley, Catherine Winnick from Vikings. If people watch that,
yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking for. I've been waiting for this for a while because I mentioned every time there's something about Dark Tower. I always mention this. When I first started following the movie news cycle, this is a project that I read about.
Yeah,
because it was this, and it was Man from Uncle for a long time too. So I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I read the first book for Dark Tower, and it was really good. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you got Detroit with Catherine Bigelow. She does nothing but good movies, at least in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to this as well. Let's move on. The 11th, we have Annabelle Creation, which is the prequel to Annabelle, but also a prequel to Annabelle because it takes place before the events of Annabelle, which Annabelle took place before the events of The Conjuring, so it's a prequel upon prequel.
Are they going to make enough money for their legal battle?
Well, no. The legal battle is more about The Conjuring. It's not necessarily about the spin-offs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't know what that's about, I'll put a link down below for you guys to go check that out. But Annabelle Creation, like I said, it's a prequel to the first Annabelle, basically about the creation of the Annabelle doll, and it looks scary, at least in my opinion.
Was that first Annabelle really scary? Was it rated R?
No, I think it was PG-13.
Okay, no, I don't see horror movies that are PG-13.
Oh, you're one of those people? Get the fuck out of here.
What? Well, I saw Deliver Us from Evil. That was good. I love that movie.
That one was good. Yeah, I like that.
Everyone hated it, though. I don't get
it. People like that. People like you just said, it's like, oh, it's PG-13, I'm not going to go see it. Fuck up.
I saw Deliver Us from Evil. That was good. I saw it as a date movie.
That was good. Alright, let's move on to the 18th. The Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature. We're not going to talk about that.
That was the one with Bruce Willis who played a squirrel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he's coming back for this because he has more self-respect for himself. So the 18th we have that, and then we have.
And then he's playing the dog. He's playing a PI with his dog. You see that? That's hilarious.
And then also on the 18th we have the Hitman's Bodyguard, which is essentially
going to be amazing.
Which is essentially the Samuel L. Jackson movie because he keeps saying motherfucker in the trailer.
It's Samuel L. Jackson being a bodyguard to Ryan Reynolds, right?
No, it's Ryan Reynolds being bodyguard to Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay. So it's just like
I said, please, motherfuckers.
It's just going to be great. I think that's.
I've been looking for this for a while, and then I saw the trailer. I was like, nah, this is going to be this top of my list. This
is going to be something that everyone's going to want to watch because it's just Sam Jackson beating the living shit out of people.
Yeah. And saying motherfucker. So,
pretty much.
So let's move on to the last week of August. Basically dead.
Tulip Fever is just awful.
Based off a novel. Those of you guys know, based off a novel, it's an artist who falls in love with a married woman who is commissioned to paint her portrait during the tulip mania of the 17th century over in Amsterdam.
Hey, US 7?
I think, and then if we were going into the August 30th, I think Leap is definitely going to be doing well.
Oh yeah,
it's an animation movie, and I think it's going to do well.
Yeah.
You're going into Labor Day.
It's the end of August. It's just it's fucking dead. So anyway, 25th, Tulip Fever, All Saints, which is based off a true story. It's a religious movie. Villa Capia, which is a movie that stars, believe it or not, Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones. Who are put into witness protection program, but have to put their rivalry aside on the golf course when they have to fend off a hit on the both of them. And then we have Polaroid, which is about a man who finds a Polaroid camera, and Sue learns that there are terrible secrets behind every picture he takes. And then, like Max mentioned, the 30th, which is the end of August, we have Leap, the animated movie. It's an orphan girl who leaves her orphanage, goes to Paris, and gets mistaken for someone else to lead the Grand Opera House play. That's not the right word. Ballet. So there you go. That's the end of August. And that's the summer movie season, guys. Yay. Alright. If you had to pick one movie, which is a stupid question. Stupid question number 2 of the podcast. What movie are you looking forward toward the most for the summer?
Valerian and the blah 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 planets.
It's a very bold choice, but okay.
Yeah.
Max?
Honestly, I'm looking forward towards The Mummy.
Sorry, that's a very interesting choice. That's it.
Tom Cruise can probably make it, and it's probably going to try to what is it, proselytize? I'm trying to make him Scientologist.
If we're picking interesting, I mean, it's easy to go to like the big ones, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. And Bay's hot.
Or Planet of the Apes, all stuff like that. But I'll say Atomic Blonde are my choice.
Sanctuary.
Really? Okay.
Looking forward to it. It's Charlize Theron kicking a bunch of people's asses. I mean, we'll go wrong with that.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to our game/contest. So last summer when we did this, I realized I hadn't given the prizes to the people. So the point of this our little game here that we got going on is it's just for fun. We're trying to decide, or try to figure out what are going to be the top 10 movies of the summer. The highest grossing movies of the summer. Domestically, because you get into worldwide numbers, it just gets complicated. So we're going to try to do the list, try to get the most points, and all that jazz. So here are the rules. You can't change your list after it's been given, because that's cheating. For those of you guys playing at home, the list must be given in by the 4th of May and no later. Again, we'll only go over domestic box office overall totals, which means the how much money your movie made by opening weekend to September 4th, which is that Labor Day, pretty much, or the Friday. Whatever. You guys figure it out. So yeah, we're going to rank them number 1 to number 10. Obviously, that seems... number 10 being the least, aka least amount of money the movie can make. And we get 4 wild cards, which will replace a movie from your top 10 if your movie from the top 10 is in the official top 10 movies of the summer. And to give you an idea of how the summer box office turned out last year, here are the top 10 movies from last year. So number 10, it was Legend of Tarzan. Yes, Legend of Tarzan was one of the top 10 movies.
Oh wow, it was an okay good. It was average.
Central Intelligence, Ghostbusters, X-Men Apocalypse, Star Trek Beyond, Jason Bourne, Suicide Squad was number 4. Secret Life of Pets, Captain America: Civil War was number 2, and Finding Dory was number 1.
If people hated Ghostbusters, why was it in the top 10?
Because people are fucking dumb.
Yeah. Or do you think it's just a bunch of people complaining?
It's just a bunch of people complaining.
A bunch of people complaining because they don't have anything else to complain about. Yeah. So, but in 3 other big movies, or 4 other big movies that came out last year that didn't even make it to the top 10. Independence Day: Resurgence came out at number 13. Alice Through Looking Glass came out at number 19, and Warcraft came out at number 29.
I saw Warcraft. It was god awful.
Oh, and the BFG came in at number 25. Not much more.
BFG!
So there you go. Alright, so point structure for all this. If your list is dead on, it's an automatic win, obviously, because that's what it is. 20 points if your top 5 is dead on, 15 points if your top 3 is dead on, 12 points if your number 1 or number 10 are dead on, 9 points if you pick us off by 1, 5 points if you pick us off by 2, 3 if you pick us up is anywhere in the top 10, 2 points for your exact pick, for each exact pick, and 1 point for each wild card that makes it into the top 10. First place gets a $50 gift card to wherever or whatever they want. Second place gets $25, and then third place gets $10.
Cool.
$50 gift card to Titty Bar.
If that's what you want, that's what I'm gonna get you. All right, so each of us have our lists, and let's start off with the wild cards first.
I didn't make a list though.
You son of a bitch.
I think wild card for me is going to be Lowrider. I'll put Baywatch in there just for the hell of it. Let's see. I think Baby Driver, and I'll put Valerian in there as well for my 4 wild cards. So for my top 10, it'll go.
Do you go 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 10 to 1.
Okay.
So 10 to 1, I think it'll be. Let's see, Cars 3. Then I think number 9 will be The Dark Tower. Number 8 will be The Hitman's Bodyguard. Number 7 will be War for Planet of the Apes. Number 6, I think, will be Dunkirk. 5 will be Spider-Man Homecoming. 4 will be Despicable Me. 3 will be The Mummy. 2 will be Transformers. I think number 1 will be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
All right.
Sanctuary, Lowriders.
Did you say Sanctuary?
What was that Amy Schumer movie?
Snatched.
Snatched number 1. 18 quintillion billion moolangs.
Not even that's not even gonna happen in Amy Schumer's little head that she has.
No, man.
Okay. Let's give my list. I realized I had my old list on here. Put my new list on my phone. Or part of my new list on my phone. So wild cards for me, I have Atomic Blonde, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales, Baby Driver, and Cars 3. And for my top 10, my projected top 10 anyway, I'm going to go up from 10 to 1. From 10 to 1, Alien Covenant, War for the Planet of the Apes, The Mummy, Captain Underpants, Baywatch, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Despicable Me 3, Transformers: The Last Night, as much as I don't want that to happen, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Uh-huh.
So that's my top 10 and my wildcards.
Can I make an alternate top 10?
Yes, you can.
So for my alternate top 10, no, I think I'm going to go from 1 to 10. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think King Arthur is definitely going to be there. Alien Covenant for 3. Pirates of the Caribbean for 4. Captain Underpants 5. Mummy 6. Wonder Woman 7. Transformers 8. Despicable Me 9. And Valerian is 10. So we'll see how that goes.
So that's your list.
No, that's the second list.
No, you get one list.
No, that's the first list.
Let's get one list.
The first list.
Okay.
Hey, go, man.
Sit down. We're a lower level podcast. We don't get two lists. All right, so that is the summer movie season. I want to thank my guests, Danny and Max, for coming on.
You said there would be strippers here.
Whoa.
I was promised strippers.
Well, it's afterwards, after we're done. So I want to thank you guys for coming on. I want to thank you guys for listening. Of course, this went long like the other one. It's not as long as the other one, though, from last year. No, it's not. But I want to thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to listen to the normal podcast, or the regular podcast, episode podcast, because this is coming out, of course, before. And let us know what you guys, let me know, since I'm the only one that runs the podcast, what your top anticipated movie of the summer is. If you want to participate in the game, you can. You can even leave a comment down below, or you can go to the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/moviepit. Link will be down below. Link will be down below for that, or you can just go to my Instagram or Twitter. Link for that will also be down below. While you're down there, you can also go check out my WordPress account for all my written reviews, which is movieswithchris.wordpress.com. Again, link down below for that. If you want to play along with the game, I'll put the rules and point structure and all that down below as well, and give you guys an outline of all the movies that are coming out this summer as well. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Max, Danny, thank you once again. Last. And stay tuned for the... What the fuck is that? What are you doing?
All right.
Oh. There you go. See, this is what happens. Been recording for too long. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Come in next time. For the summer, I just want to mention this right now. For the summer, all the summer movies, or not all summer movies, let's not get ridiculous. For most of the summer movies, I will be doing 2 podcasts a week. One of them will be a review podcast. So you got that to look forward to for some of the summers. Of course, not the first one, because I'm going to be adding the Guardians of the Galaxy review to the regular podcast. So King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, will be the first review podcast, solo podcast. But I'll let you guys know more about that next time. So thank you guys so much for listening. Appreciate you guys. And as always, go have a safe, fun weekend or week, and go watch some movies.
Go Cubs.
Go Sox.
I'm going to edit that part out.
Whoop whoop! Yeah! Give it up! Movies!